What's up guys? If you have not been watching some of my latest videos, there's a company by the name of BLU who has been disrupting the Android scene by offering really great Android phones at ridiculous low prices. I had the opportunity to play with the VIVO 5, their mid-range phone that is made out of a full aluminum body, and it's actually a really nice phone that I think could possibly be the best mid-range phone that you can buy today. Let me show you guys a quick overview of this phone. So without further ado, let's get started. BLU is all about getting the most for your money, and when you buy one of their phones, you're going to get a lot of extra goodies inside the box, like a pair of earbuds, a screen protector, and a perfectly fitted clear case too. But the highlight of this video isn't about the bonus stuff you get inside, it's actually the phone itself. But on a serious note, in my opinion, this has to be one of the best, if not the best looking mid-range Android phone you can buy. I mean, the design seems similar to the iPhone 5, and personally, I think it was Apple's best looking iPhone to date. And this carries a similar DNA, but unlike other phones that say it's full metal and all they have is a metal backplate, which is actually just a decoration piece, the VIVO 5 is actually CNC cut from a single block of metal, so it's truly a full metal build, just like the iPhone and also the HTC A9. The phone itself is very lightweight, and it's probably the lightest 5.5-inch phone I've tested, and when I picked it up for the first time, I seriously thought there was no battery inside. And when I put it side by side with my Nexus 6P, it looks and feels like they are in the same category in terms of build quality. It's definitely a lot lighter, it's also thinner, not as tall, and overall just very sleek looking. Even the camera barely peeks out, and overall it's just a great looking phone. Inside you'll find a non-removable 3150 mAh battery, which will give you plenty of juice for all day battery life. Now when it's time to recharge the phone, it does have a USB Type-C connector with quick charge support, and next to the charging port are two speaker grills. Now it does only have one speaker, but it's very loud. No, I mean very loud. You won't have any problems listening to music, and the sound quality is actually very good. Now around the side you have the power and volume buttons, which personally I prefer this placement where power is located at the bottom and the volume keys are on top. On the other side is the SIM slot, which has a dual SIM tray and also micro SD card support up to 64 gigs. Now you do get 32 gigabytes of internal storage, which is actually great at this given price point. Now moving to the back side of the phone, it has a 13 megapixel camera with phase detection autofocus, and like previous BLU phones I've used, the camera is solid and it takes good pictures. On the front side is a 5 megapixel shooter, which is great for those of you who love to take selfies. Now below that is a 5.5-inch Super AMOLED display with a 720p resolution. Now I've said this before and I will say it again. The difference between a 720p display versus a 1080p is negligible, and I'll gladly take a low resolution display in return for a better quality panel and also longer lasting battery. So I think that we can all agree that the exterior of this phone is really beautiful, and I do like how light and thin it is. It makes using a 5.5-inch phone a lot easier to manage. But what about the software experience? Does it match the hardware specs? Now, out of the box, it is running a very slightly skinned version of Android 5.1, so if you enjoy phones with a pure Android experience, you're gonna feel right at home. Now, it does have some minor settings and options that do enhance the phone's experience, but it's very minimal, and I don't think it ruins the experience. Now because this phone does have 3 gigs of RAM and a pretty powerful MediaTek octa-core 64-bit processor, things ran nice and smooth. I mean, I had no major complaints, and despite having a full aluminum body, the phone got warm while I was playing some video games, but it was all within normal operating temperatures. I also ran some synthetic benchmarks, which I think did very well, and even when I did a side-by-side comparison with my Nexus 6P, it was just as fast and in some cases even faster, but I think it's most likely due to Marshmallow's mandatory disk encryption. I guess my point is the speed of the phone is not an issue, so you have nothing to worry about. The thing about this phone is not once did I feel that it was a mid-range or budget phone, and I had to remind myself that this phone only costs $200 because it's that good. And it's phones like this that make it really hard to justify and going out and spending $700 or even $1,000 on a flagship premium. I'm gonna leave more information down below in the description, and if you guys have any more questions regarding this phone, leave them down below in the comments area. Also, thumbs up this video if you guys like it. Thanks again for watching, and you will catch me in the next one. Adios. Thumbs up. That's a wrap.